Hey, what's up, you guys? Hope you're doing amazing. Hey, can I talk to you real quickly about a lens change? Something, just a thought, man. Just want to share a story with you from the Old Testament in Genesis. That you got to keep in mind that whenever we read things in Genesis and the stories in Genesis and all of those things in the Old Testament, that they are lacking the lens of Christ. So when we review those and we go back and we try to put it through the lens of Christ, and what would God have us do now that we have the revelation of who Christ is and what God really intended for the earth, all those different things. We can see the negative things that are obvious because we have now a Christ lens, and then we can see also the things that God is trying to allude to through different stories. So we have this one where Noah and the ark, and they've been through the flood. Finally, it's dissipated, and Noah grows a vineyard. He drinks, makes some wine, gets drunk. He's naked in his tent. His youngest son comes in, looks on his nakedness, goes out and tells his other sons. Now, this is an issue because in that cultural day and time, in that society, you're not supposed to go out and shame your dad by telling about his nakedness. And it's still very prevalent in cultures that are in the East and stuff like that now. So we understand that to be a truth. But here's also another perspective I wanted to share with you. This dude, the youngest son, all of them, but the youngest son, they done been through a flood, y'all. You know, the whole world flooded. It flooded because of sin, and he knew it. So when he goes in and he sees his dad doing this, it's a very real potential that he's tripping out because, dude, we just went through all this, and now we're just a short period of time, and you're in here. What? Pops, for real? You can see the panic, the potential for panic, alarm, and all this kind of stuff that's going on because of what they've been through, because of the trauma. So he goes out and he tells his brothers. Does he tell them just to shame his dad? Don't know. Don't know. Could be that he's just alarmed. But his brothers do the right thing. In the midst of this, they do a cultural correct thing. But I think if we look at it from the lens of Christ, we can also see what God's trying to say from a Christ lens. And that is that his brothers back in, and love covers a multitude of sins. See, beloved, I believe that a lot of times, because of our perspective, and we look at what's going on in the earth, and we have traumas that are triggers for us and those kind of things, that when we look on what's happening in the earth, we just think that destruction is here, and we panic about what's happening and all this stuff. But love covers a multitude of sins, and we don't see the potential for love to cover the sins. And that's not a blanket statement saying that people can sin. It means that we are, as he is, so are we in the world, and we have the opportunity to be love that covers but doesn't enable. Just a thought.